Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damon yet again with another list. And this time I thought I would talk about top 20, my top 20 favorite WrestleMania entrants. And for me, a WrestleMania entrance is not just basically the visual of the entrance, and it sure as hell is not just your live band playing. Because in that case, Ronda Rousey will be on it, and she's not gonna be because she sucks. I mean, a live band playing just for a live band playing isn't good enough for me. It has to mean something. The entrance has to be something, and it has to have kind of basically signify basically your place on the card. I mean, if everybody has a special entrance at WrestleMania, then nobody feels special. It should be once, basically, you should have maybe like five special entrances. Maybe different fireworks if you want to, but not everybody should have a WrestleMania entrance. For example, the number 20, my list is Miz at WrestleMania 27. What a god awful WrestleMania. Sure. I mean, Edge retaining against W in an okay match. Cody losing to Ray. Cody winning against Ray, sorry. The core eight-man tag match. You had the Snooki in a tag match. Yeah, Undertaker and Kane, yeah, Undertaker and Triple H in an okay match. But you had Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler, which was the worst night of the night, worst match of the night by far. But the second worst match, I would dare say, was the main event, John Cena versus The Miz. It was bad. It was just a WrestleMania 20 under the water to plug WrestleMania 28. However, the Miz entrance, I will dare say, is one of my favorite entrances. It's my favorite entrance at WrestleMania because it just says about a guy who defied the odds, was supposed to just be a mid-carder, but he transcended that to be reaching main event status. He basically became an overachiever. That was basically this overachiever, and the awesome letters there coming out of it, basically him going through those letters. I thought was awesome. Problem is, he kept reusing that entrance at a lot of WrestleManias, a lot of pay-per-views afterwards. That should have been a one-time only entrance. You shouldn't reuse your entrance because it worked once. It should be a once in a lifetime. I mean, bands sometimes they're going to play concerts, they're not going to play the same sets every year for different tours because then it loses its luster. Same thing for that entrance. It kind of lost its luster because it kept using it. And he ended up winning the match. So he winning the match and win the main event of WrestleMania. So there's a lot of importance there. Number 19, Jake the Snake Roberts at WrestleMania 8. It seems it's the only WrestleMania entrance where Jake the Snake Roberts doesn't bring his snake in a bag. It's also his only real WrestleMania appearance as a full-fledged heel and with the Trust Me song, which is an awesome WB team. But he walks kind of jogs to the ring. I like the basically the camera panned up to his face. Basically, when they would do toward, they would basically pan up from the up, basically to the wrestler's face to make it more gigantic. Jake just slouch back in the corner, smile an evil smile, then basically use the ropes to get himself up. It just established everything you need to know about the new Jake Roberts. So, and yes, he did two DDTs to Undertaker. He tried to take him down. It couldn't work. But basically, after one two stomp to the outside, he got pinned 1 2 3. It was the last Jake the Snake Roberts appearance until 1996, and could say the last time we saw Jake Roberts a full-time wrestler in WWE. So there was some significance in that appearance, in that entrance of WrestleMania. Number 18 is a Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 4 when he came out four times, four different times, with four different robes, four different attires. And I thought that represented, that epitomized the Randy Savage character like no other WrestleMania did. Here's a character that, yes, want to achieve to go the cream, reach the cream, is the cream of the crop and want to reach top rung of the ladder. But he didn't want to just do it. He wanted to do it with style, with elegance, with class, and that's what he did. He beat Butchery, then goes on to beat Greg Valentine, goes on against the One Man Gang, and yes, it's like a DQ win, but it's a DQ nonetheless. Whereas Ted DiBiase had easy path to the finals, he didn't, and then he faced Ted DiBiase. Difference, and why it's important? Because he wrestled four times, and he different suits, like I said, different attire, and he ended up winning the WWE title in the main event of WrestleMania. The only main event to that point where they wasn't featuring Hulk Hogan, the only one that Hulk Hogan didn't win at the end. Is the first WrestleMania main event that led to a WWE title change. And that to me is important. Think about that. From WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 4, the title change went from Hogan, Andre for like a week, as well as Teddy DiBiase, the parentheses, Macho Man. That's it. In 4 years. Anyway, That's my WrestleMania. That's my 18th favorite entrance of WrestleMania. Number 17, Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 31. I love the get up of this. And yeah, it was before the last match. The only criticism I got at WrestleMania that entrance was because it was in daylight and would have worked better at night. But they can't control that. So yeah, at an outdoors WrestleMania, you cannot control what happens with basically with temperature or basically with the color of the sky. So you can't control that. But it was awesome. And it was also a significant entrance because for a long time, since WrestleMania 30, you didn't see The Undertaker on WWE's TV, and you finally got him back at that WrestleMania. And Undertaker did win, but I do remember that it took two tombstones, if I'm right, to beat Bray Wyatt. He kicked out of one, but then the second of time. So that's why it's significant. WrestleMania 16, John Cena, WrestleMania 25. I really like that entrance. And yet, I feel like John Cena has maybe had two great entrances at WrestleMania 2, 3, and all of them being cringy. WrestleMania 20, 21, meanwhile, it's WrestleMania 21 as the Word Life character, which I wouldn't mind seeing the Word Life character come back for his retirement match, or at least that version of it. WrestleMania 21st, like basically the time is now, basically just debuted that team, and it felt like he was an underdog fighting for the WWE Championship. But to be honest, WrestleMania 22, him coming out as Chicago Prohibition criminal with a Tommy gun just was cringy. WrestleMania 23 wasn't cringy, but just felt all right. I mean, anybody coming to a car to WrestleMania thinking it's a great entrance, no, it's just generic. Sasha Banks did that and honestly took it down from a great entrance with Snoop Dogg. I would have put Sasha Banks on that list for WrestleMania 32 if she didn't try to be such a tryhard with a car and try to pretend like. And that's the thing with her or Charlotte Banks is I don't know what their character are except being tryhard or try to be daddy in the case of Charlotte Flair. So yeah, and WrestleMania 24, John Cena came in with a marching band, which I thought again, you're not. It doesn't make sense because you're not a college football team. You're just a guy. WrestleMania 24, 25 though, it makes sense because it was a Where's Waldo thing, and after the which matched well with the You Can't See Me catchphrase, and it led to basically John Cena feeling not out of place. It fell basically right in his place and led to him winning the world title at WrestleMania. I don't remember what WrestleMania 26 entrance was. I think it was okay. But WrestleMania 27 with the gospel thing was too much, and not in a good way. Like, afterwards, I've noticed that John Cena's entrance were toned down. Were not as big, was aggrandizing as they used to be. They just became his normal John Cena stick. It's kind of like he knew, okay, that went too much. It became really stupid. So that's number 16, WrestleMania 25 with John Cena. WrestleMania 15, Dominic Mysterio, WrestleMania 39. I love that entrance. It was my favorite WrestleMania entrance of that. Again, talk about too much entrance. I thought that Seth Rollins and the Roman Reigns entrance was way too much. Doesn't mean because you have piano, because it didn't fit their character. For Seth Rollins, like, what's your character? Dressing up really weird? That's your character? Why? Why do you dress up really weird? I love it when you wear a suit and some gloves. That made sense. This one doesn't. It doesn't. And Roman Reigns with, oh, you have a piano to sing your song. It's like, oh, great, great, cool. Why? Why does it make sense? Why? No, it doesn't. Dominic Mysterio, though, it makes sense for his character. I mean, a supposed tough guy who thinks he's basically, he always thought that he got tough because he was in jail for 2 hours and was bailed out. And afterwards, basically, he takes himself as hot stuff. Basically, he thinks of himself as a tough guy because of this, and he just tries to antagonize his dad when it was crystal clear to anybody that he wasn't trying to raise the goal of his dad. His character, not the person in real life, but I mean his character is basically a guy who wants his attaboy from his dad. He's doing everything because he wants, in the end, his attaboy from his dad. He doesn't want to beat his dad because he wants to show he's the best Mysterio. And if he does, not as much as he wants to beat his dad and basically hear the attaboy from his dad. That's basically all his character is. He just wants to break away from the mysterious shadow, but he also wants his dad's approval, while he portrays himself as a tough guy who needs anything but his dad's approval. So I thought that was great, and just to antagonize his dad, he wants to mock his legacy by wearing his Halloween Havoc 1997 outfit. So I thought it was awesome. It's an awesome entrance with some meaning because he lost to his dad there. So yeah, 14 is a tie, and it's the last two WrestleMania. This is a great entrance. WrestleMania 41, CM Punk entering with Paul Heyman and Living Color, because I felt like it was CM Punk that felt liberated. CM Punk that didn't have any of those, basically the doubts of do I deserve the main event? Should I be the main event? He's in the main event of that night at least. And it's also, it felt like I'm with my best friend, or what I feel is my best friend there. And while I do have the pressure of being a main event, I don't have the chip on my shoulder saying I should have been there. I am in that moment. I can savor that moment. And that's a very important thing because I felt the character let his guard down too. Like it's significant for CM Punk in real life, but it's also significant for the character because he let his guard down, was happy with his friend, that Paul Heyman. They both celebrated. But Paul Heyman, the first person he betrayed that night, was CM Punk before he betrayed Roman Reigns. So he let his guard down, but for an awesome entrance. And I felt like not it wasn't just living call, it's also kill switch engage, the fire burns for a while. Like basically throw back to this. Now, I will grant you, CM Punk's current hairstyle with poofy hair, it kind of doesn't feel like a punk anymore. Just should shorten it down. But anyway, I love that entrance. As for WrestleMania 40, it'd be Cody Rhodes. I felt like Cody Rhodes, yeah, was a grandiose entrance with his wife, but it felt like the entrance was saying, this is my time, and if I can't beat regardless of the reason, regardless of context, if I can't beat Roman Reigns and be WWE champion, then I don't deserve to be WWE champion. I don't deserve to get another shot. It felt like character was putting himself in a position, regardless, that if he doesn't win it this time, even if he's granted another shot, then it's not worth it. He won twice the Rumble. If he can't do it this time, then he can never do it. So yeah, I love that entrance and significant because he won the WWE title in the main event WrestleMania 40. So yeah, that's number 14. Number 13 might not be as much, but Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 34. The bar, Sheamus and Cesaro came in with on a New Orleans basically cruise ship quotation mark, and basically were relaxing because of Mardi Gras. But in this case, Braun Strowman, known for being a monster with an unparalleled strength, did basically another feat of strength by nearly breaking the ship apart. And it's significant because he went on to basically win the tag titles and glorified handicap match with Nicholas in his corner. The phenomenal, always charismatic, legendary Nicholas. But yeah, that's why I think it's significant. WrestleMania 12, number 12 is WrestleMania 18. What do you think it's going to be? Do you think it's The Undertaker's motorcycle entrance? No. Is it Ric Flair's return entrance? No. Is it going to be, uh, is it going to be the NW's entrance? No. It's the Dudley Boys with Saliva. I would turn the table because I felt like it was the artist entrance of the Dudleys, and I felt like I don't know why, but for that night it felt like they came in with a bit of more edge. They felt more basically not just grungier, but they felt like a more intense Dudley Boys tag team where basically you could see Bubba Ray, Devon Dudley, and Stacy Keibler all kind of dance the music, or at least in the case of Bubba Ray, he was moshing the team, and I thought it was awesome. It was an awesome entrance. And again, I'm biased because I was there, but if you don't like it, that's my list. Deal with it. Number 11, The Shield at WrestleMania 30. I mean, they didn't need much. They had an awesome team, but they came in from the crowd, but they had those skull masks, skull face masks. That's all they needed to, but you could see this time around the reason why it's significant is not just a skull mask, not only just because they came across as badass, but this time it felt the first fight they fought, not to please authority like they did with many times, not to please CM Punk or Paul Heyman. They did it to them for themselves, for their own dignity, their own self-respect to face against their former boss and Kane and New Age Outlaws. The former, basically, the people who tried to, on the order of Triple H, boss them around. And they wouldn't. So they fought for their own self. So it was basically glorious because it led up to the Shield squashing Kane and the New Age Outlaws in under 3 minutes. So it's very important there. That's number 11. Number 10, Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. At WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan basically was one of the two only people to go to the ring without a ring card. By the way, Paul Levesque, can you bring them back, please, for WrestleMania entrance ring cards? Why it's important there? The ring card, Hulk Hogan was the only one scheduled to go to the ring without a ring card. Roddy Piper supposedly broke down before the match, but this one didn't. And it was important because it led up to basically you could see Hulk Hogan basically walking with confidence, but sometimes a little bit of doubt. Like it's like his character was doubting, can I actually win this match? Can I slam the giant? And was a resounding yes. The answer to those questions was a resounding yes. But still, in the lead up of the match, that's what I felt. Number 9, WrestleMania 7, The Ultimate Warrior. Normally, you see the Ultimate Warrior, which is WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6, WrestleMania 8, WrestleMania 12. You see him running the ring. Except WrestleMania 7, because the loser leaves town match against the Macho Man Randy Savage. And this time, he won. His character did not know if he could beat the Macho Man Randy Savage. He could proclaim in all the promos, but he knows that Ultimate Warrior and Macho King Randy Savage were two things that most of the roster weren't. Former WWE champions. And that means you're more formidable than most people in the business. So in that case, the Ultimate Warrior has some self-doubt, and that's the reason why he didn't want to run the ring. I'm not saying in real life, but in character-wise, it might be the last time he gets a cheers from audience. It's the last time he can actually hear the beat of his own team music. It's the last time that can actually, it might just be one of the last times that he's able to perform inside the ring. It's not, but in storyline, he could have been. And even inside, it led up to the match being awesome. It led up to being Savage being one of the few people who ever kicked out the Gorilla Press and Splash combo, and that's where the Ultimate Warrior fell down. Maybe I'm not meant to win this one. Maybe I'm meant to go away. He ended up winning the match, but I love that entrance. It spoke volumes without being so flashy. Number 8, the Hardys at WrestleMania 33. Why do I think it's significant beside the mystery that we thought, okay, it's Enzo, because Enzo and Big Cass fighting the Bar, fighting Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to a match. A ladder match would have been good. And then the New Day, the host of WrestleMania, announced there's a 14 announced in. And you think the New Days are going to use their power to insert themselves in the match? No, it's the Hardys coming back from TNA, where they dropped the TNA tag titles without losing, because that didn't work for them, brother. And they won and lost the tag titles, the Ring of Honor tag titles, sorry. And then they went on to WrestleMania 33 unannounced. And the pop they got with the artist team played was awesome. So Della Love, they won at WrestleMania. They won at WrestleMania 33. And I was astounded to know that was the first and probably the only time the artists of the team won at WrestleMania. So it meant something. That new, basically, that surprise return led to a WWE tag title rating. And honestly, in a year, they started the year as the tag champions, as the TNA tag champions. Then they went running over tag champion, and they finished WrestleMania by winning the WWE tag titles. Talk about the trifecta of tag titles. So, yeah, that's why it's number 8. Number 7, going all the way back to WrestleMania 1, Roddy Piper. Why? I know it's minimalist to have your security guard around you, but come on. Roddy Piper was known to be a rebel rouser. He was being antagonist to everybody, every face. And there's some heels was getting under everybody's skin. The point where basically he struck Cyndi Lauper, he attacked Captain Lou Albano when he turned face. He broke a coconut over Jimmy Superfly Snuka's head. And it's like people really hated him. He was a top heel, and his character wasn't afraid of people, but he just didn't want people to basically come out from the crowd and attack him. And that's the reason for the security guards. And I thought it was awesome. It was an awesome entrance. You could also say Roddy Piper's and Paul Orndorff, but it's mostly Piper's entrance in this case. Moving on, number 6, Kane at WrestleMania 20. I mean, WrestleMania 20 is one of the best WrestleMania sets ever, to my opinion. WrestleMania stage set. I mean, the landscape of New York City, and basically on the floor, it basically seems to be theaters or slash mirrors. But the moment Kane arrives, basically the set becomes on fire, and the city seems to be on fire. I thought it was awesome. And it was very important, that one, because Kane wants to get away from any trace of his brother, wants to basically eradicate The Undertaker and take him out of WWE for good. And the reason is he wants to be the only true phenom. And that's the same case of this entrance. Sure, he lost the match. Sure, the match wasn't that good, but still, I really like that entrance. That's for number 6. Now I'm going to top 5. Number 5, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 22. Why? Why this WrestleMania? Because first of all, the entrance from Booyaka from POD was awesome. He debuted there, but I felt that his entrance established him for the very first time as a legit main eventer. At first, he was an upper carder, and we thought, okay, he's getting push, and but now this time, he felt like he really should be a main eventer, and I thought it showed. So, and the entrance was very good, and led up to him winning the world title from Randy Orton, well, from Kurt Angle by pinning Randy Orton in a triple threat match. So yeah, now I'm going to top four. Number four, The Undertaker at WrestleMania 14. I said there was a WrestleMania, in which case I thought The Undertaker had the best entrance, and that's WrestleMania 14. When you didn't see Undertaker for like 2 months, the better part of 2 months after being burned inside a casket at Royal Rumble 998, you saw Kane gloriously tombstone Pete Rose before the match, and then The Undertaker at basically the Druids entrance where basically they held up torches, and The Undertaker would walk his usual pace, slowly, underneath the torch, which he would do at WrestleMania 20 anyway. I thought it was done better the first time around. So the second time around, the only thing that's different is Undertaker went from American Badass to the Phenom, and also came back with Paul Bearer. In this case, WrestleMania 14, Paul Bearer is at the side of Kane instead. But the Undertaker still has the same entrance, and I thought it felt better. It felt better because it felt like a renewed Undertaker. Undertaker with a vengeance, and this time it felt like a purpose because he promised himself before that being burned by Kane, he promised to never lay a hand on his younger brother. Just the same thing as Bret and Owen. Until Royal Rumble. In this case, this time he determined that he had to put down Kane. And I really like that entrance. Again, that's my favorite Undertaker entrance. I know some people might have other entrances that they prefer. To me, it's my favorite Undertaker entrance. Now we're going to top three. WrestleMania 10 features my best entrance, and not exactly for the answers you think. It's like it's WrestleMania 10 and it's Bret Hart. You might think maybe it's his entrance the first match because the arena announcer introduced from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and then so went, and afterwards from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, it's Bret. No, it's the second entrance by Burt Reynolds when he introduced Owen. When Yokozuna enters first, Bret Hart enters second. I know the challenger is supposed to enter first, but in this case, challenger enters second. The reason being is he's battered, he's hurt, he's stumbling because his leg hurt, and he just lost to Owen Hart. Whereas basically a reversal of a victory role. Whereas Yokozuna current served his WWE title via DQ due to Mr. Perfect, but Yoko still seemed fresher. But Bret limped to the ring, and his character is like, okay, it's like he knows the character himself thinks I'm not in the best shape possible in any other situation. I might have to basically relinquish this match, but it's for the WWE title, for which I won the Royal Rumble for. I'm not going to get another opportunity at this point. Yeah. So I have to suck it up against this monster to try to win the title. But if I can get it, then I'm not going to get another shot. And it's like the way that Bret Hart basically limps, he sells. By the way, no appreciation for Bret Hart when you see him sell. He doesn't basically seem like, I'm totally rested up. No, he's selling the leg his entire match. And it felt like his character his character's confidence was kind of like shook because he lost to Owen without excuses. And throughout the whole match, he got basically he went against Yoko without abandon, with reckless abandon, without abandon. He just didn't want to. He was not going to surrender. Yokozuna was going to have to beat him, to pin him decisively to keep the title because he wasn't going to submit. And Yoko kind of enjoyed that. You could see his character like enjoying it. Hey, I'm fighting it. Basically, the first one, I fought Lex Luger, a very powerful man, and I conserved my title against him. But now I'm facing against an injured guy. That's the main event of WrestleMania. I'm going to keep that title. No biggie. I've coordinated Fuji at very worst. No biggie, except Roddy Piper, who was in the first WrestleMania main event, is the special guest referee for this main event. And at one point, Roddy Piper sees Cornette interfere, and I think at this point Piper socked Cornette. And if I remember correctly, Fuji's also socked by Bret Hart. So it's like that out of the equation. Bret Hart basically gets some offense and eventually get caught with a belly-to-belly suplex. And at that time, you think, okay, that's a bonsai drop setup. Yoko goes to buy bonsai drop, but he falls and Bret Hart pins him. Granted, it should have been that he tries for the bonsai drop and misses, and Bret Hart forcefully, voluntarily gets out of the way and then pins him. But anyway, it leads to Bret Hart winning the title. And it's important because it's like you see this and you think, oh, Yoko's going to retain. Yoko's going to retain. Bret Hart's 100%. Bret Hart just already lost this night. And he doesn't. He wins the title. So I love that because it shows that you don't have to be showing up to a WrestleMania entrance, show yourself to be the best ability or at your best condition. Bret Hart didn't, and to an extent, Daniel Bryan didn't either. But Daniel Bryan just felt like it's sure he's going to win. They cannot end WrestleMania like this. Whereas this one, there was some suspense. So that's why I think it's very important. Number two, Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania 13. The glass breaks as part of his theme music, but in this case, the glass literally break because it's like they had Austin's 316 glass sheet and he went through it. And it's like, that's badass. That signified everything you need to know about this character. Is no quit. He's going to go through hell to basically go to a fight to get what he wants and to basically to make sure they rectifies the wrongs of the past, or simply put, to get his hand on any title he wants to. And that's what I felt like. And it's basically significant because it happened in the ring. My favorite match of WrestleMania history, the submission match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. While Bret Austin didn't win per se, he never quit. He actually went through. He followed through his threats. He didn't break his word. He was true to his word. He didn't quit. And he took Bret Hart to his limit. And some people say he took Bret Hart and took him down to his level in terms of eelish things. And he led to the greatest double turn in WrestleMania history. So I think that's very significant. Now, what could top that list? To me, it's easy. It's Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12. Logan Paul can have used basically the cat line, whatever it's called, the skyline. I thought it was kind of not just pretentious, but it's like, oh, what a blowhard. You guys should talk at the same time. It's like, less is more, guys. Less is more. Shawn had a reason to do this. And using his the skyline just to descend the ring, it's like you think, okay, that's a hell of an entrance. But it's also, like I said for Cody, it felt like an entrance that said, if I don't win this time, it's true. There might not be another shot, and if I do, I don't deserve it. And of course, he wins the title there. He wins the title in the main event. I thought it was an awesome entrance. And I thought, again, there's a reason it was put in many SmackDown vs. Raw games. Because it's an excellent entrance that says everything about the charisma, about the statue, about the place the card of Shawn Michaels, and just plays a card of wrestling, but plays a card as an all-time great. He got wrestling, he still gets wrestling, which is why he helps the new generation in NXT. And to me, after I basically told you my list, it just makes me think like, the art of a great WrestleMania entrance or art of a great entrance, like it's kind of lost nowadays. I feel like people like don't understand what basically that has to be true to their character, not just, oh, it has to be my favorite band doing this. No, it doesn't. There's a reason why Ronda Rousey felt really ridiculous because it doesn't fit her character. Charlotte Flair, it's always, I don't want to be like my dad, but I always have interests like my dad. With the damn Ric Flair like robe, turning around doing the woo and doing the pose of her dad. I mean, a lot of entries are cringe. Seth Rollins, what he does. Roman Reigns, way too much. I'm trying to think of other entrances that try to be a hit or miss. Like, they're hit or miss, and it's like, okay. Like, other candidates, I could say Shinsuke Nakamura WrestleMania 34, but didn't have that good of a match and he lost. So there's other honorable mentions, but to me, a great entrance is like, it has to mean something long run. And it's not based like it was. I was gonna say the highlighters. The War Raiders at WrestleMania 41 just dressed up as characters in an online game for no reason. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense for a character, and he should, Or WrestleMania 22 with Conan the Barbarian as Triple H. That was stupid as hell. Hell, as are most Triple H entrants, which seems to be from us. And you call people being nerd. He came off as a great Arnold nerd that all the time, always ripping off an Arnold movie for an entrance. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments down below. On that note, take care, guys.